Alrighty, real. We are here once again, folks. Greetings and salutations. Welcome. What are we talking
Hey,
about today?
hey.
Because Empire,
Yes.
the Empire, episodes
The
7 and
Empire.
8 of
7 and 8.
Foundation. We've made it. We're almost there, y'all. We're almost there. Please excuse me while I get my Hugh Hefner on. Shut up. Excuse me, but I'm not feeling that great today, and I'm a little bit cold. I'm anemic, so I gotta keep the warmth in as much as possible. So don't mind my fluffy self here. How was your
Fluffy.
cousin?
Be fluffy and cozy. It was great. Well, apart from having to drive into an office in a thunderstorm this morning,
Ooh,
that's it was fine. I got through work just fine. Things happened. I didn't have to force anybody to do anything at work today or beg. People
How you
did what
didn't
they
have to crack
needed
the
to
whip?
do. I got things done. I got my checklist completed.
That's always
It
a
was
plus.
nice. Yeah,
Always
it
a
was
plus.
nice. It's a good feeling
We
when
love it
you
when a plan comes together.
complete the plan that you made for the day. It's nice. Yeah, but yeah, that's it. Pretty.
All right.
Apart from the thrill of driving into work, I was all right.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I was feeling a bit of pains in my hands yesterday, so I knew what was coming with this stupid arthritis thing I'm having to deal with now. So
you having
asked my
an
boss if I could
episode?
stay home, and lo and behold, a whole thunderstorm came through here too. And I was like, you
bet.
know what? I am on the couch. I was cold. That again is why I have this on. So I was really glad I didn't have to go outside today
Yeah,
at all.
good.
Word. So let's get into these things.
Sure.
There's some trouble
Sure.
and some
Some
situations
trouble.
coming with the Empire.
Episode 7 was called Mysteries and Martyrs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, to me, one of the filler. It was the filler episode of this season, actually, because it was kind of
Still a good nugget,
yeah.
though. Still good nuggets.
There was a few good nuggets.
See, this is the
Absolutely.
type of filler episode
But
that I live for because it
yeah,
still gives us
that's
everything.
informative. Bop bop bop. So
Yes.
we had Empire on the Maiden. We had Salvor and the crew that kidnapped her and Hugo on the ship going to the Invictus. We had Empire on Trantor, and then we had Gale talking to a ghost on her
Mm.
ship. So,
Mm-hmm.
where you
I
want to
have a
go
question
first?
on that.
You want to go to her
Actually,
first because hers was to me was the
let's
short.
because I think we could get through her situations quick because they don't take up that much room.
I
They're
kind of
big,
almost
but
want
they
to
don't
do
take up that much
her
room.
situation for 7
Mm-hmm.
and 8 in one shot.
Yeah, wrap it up.
Because there was no reason for them to stretch that to 2 episodes. Honestly, it was annoying to tell
Yeah,
you the truth. So
I did not.
just
Now don't get us wrong, y'all. We
yeah,
liked what we saw, but the way they
yeah,
split it between the two
it
episodes,
was dumb.
unnecessary. Unnecessary. They could have just gave it to us,
Correct.
and boom, it'd have been done.
Absolutely. So, Gail is on the ship, and when we left last time, the ghost of Harry was glitching in and out, and this was
Mm-hmm.
apparently due to the thing we saw that Raish pulled from behind his ear. It was an implant, a device, basically taking all of his information,
Meant to
and
clone him
preserving him,
almost
basically cloning him
digital.
digitally.
Yes,
So Digi Harry is having trouble adjusting
I like that.
because
He will forever be known as Digi Harry now.
Digi Harry.
Are there two of them?
Well, you got to watch season 2. I'm not going to say that yet.
Okay, cool. I'll keep that thought until we get
Digi,
there then.
yeah, Digi Harry is glitching in and out, and his consciousness can't adjust just yet. But she is very smart. Gail is so intuitive.
His
Like
girl,
I'm
bruh.
telling you,
I
she
feel like
doesn't
she should be
realize.
ruling the
At
world.
the end of episode 8 is where she really starts to like realize who she is, starts
Mm-hmm.
coming into her own, because she fights for herself. And she's like, "Come on, Harry, listen to my voice. That was the past. This is now.
Yep.
What is this, Harry? What did you do to yourself?" You know, trying to get him to come to terms with this is now. That was then. He goes, "What are you doing here?" So he kind of
Why
pulls
are you
himself
here?
together. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he materializes properly, and he's like, "You're not supposed to be here. Raish is
You're not
supposed to be
supposed to be
here."
here.
And she digs into him. She asks him what was going on. She calls him a
Mm-hmm.
liar. And he starts asking her, "Well, how is it that you're here and Raish is not?" She tells him that
Yeah.
Raish killed him, you know you're dead, right?
Right.
You say that to somebody, you know you're dead, right?
Like, he was not expecting that because his face was
Yeah.
like, go on.
Raish killed you, and they blamed both of us for it, and he sent me instead.
Hmm.
And so she breaks it down for him that Raish is dead, that, she was propelled forward in time, basically. She was in a
I
time
don't
capsule,
understand that though.
35 years. Because
Rach
it's
could have went
space.
with her.
No, it was one pod.
It was only one pod.
One
Okay.
pod.
Okay.
And that pod was programmed to get to that ship in that amount of time. Because
Okay.
it's slower than a slow ship. That's why
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
time has gone by. Um, and also when we get to episode 8, when she goes off to Synax, remember it takes
Hmm.
138 years
Yeah. Yeah.
because she
Long
can't hold
time.
space in it. She has to travel at a snail's pace to get there. So she's
Yeah.
preserving her whole life. Jesus. Um, so anyway, she says that he said, "Why were you there? Why were you in my room that night?" And she goes, "I was in the pool." He was like, "You were meant," because he says it. He says, "You were meant to be in the pool doing laps and counting primes."
Here's the
Clearly
thing.
Harry was watching all the things, right?
And he was, but here's what I don't understand. You already know this girl is an outlier. I don't care how
No,
much
I
you
don't.
pay
I don't know.
attention,
He
what numbers
knew. I don't think he
crunch.
did. I don't think he knew.
Has he
I
really
think
not noticed her
he was
unpredictability though?
now. I don't. They
That's a damn shame. He had to
incorporated
die to
her
figure that out.
When they incorporated her into the plan, she was a means to an end. She was supposed to be the person that proves him right in front of Empire and
Mm.
gets him his slow ship to be exiled
To
to
head
start
on
the
over to the
foundation.
exile.
And
Yeah.
then he was going to when he sees how brilliant she is, then she can lead the foundation, right? So I think that part of it kept changing for him, but I think her
The
initial
arrogance of it
use
all.
was just to say
Yeah,
to Empire,
he
his theory is
underestimated her
correct. And he underestimated her, exactly. And when she
vastly.
started pulling things out of the air, like, there's something wrong with the sky, Harry. And he kept
Hmm.
looking at her like,
He
what is
kept
going
looking
on?
at her,
So his
and
line
that's
of
what I'm saying.
questioning right now
He
is
put
along
that
those lines
together.
of, well, how did you know? She said, I had a feeling. And then she's trying
Mhm.
to ignore him because she doesn't really want to tap into the real why
Yeah,
of
it kind of scares
how
her at
she
that
got
point, I think.
here. So he's like
Yeah.
keeps asking her questions, and things are happening in the ship, and it's getting warmer, and there's a debris field, and she has this thing in her hand, and all of a sudden he's like, "How did you know to get out of the pool?" And she goes, "It was just a feeling, like my body knew
Hmm.
something before I
Like,
did."
look here, my spidey
And
senses tingled, and I have to go
I
check on my boo boo.
I get up and I went to go check on Raish, and he wasn't in his quarters. So then I came to yours, and he's stabbing you.
Hmm.
And I didn't know what was going on. And then all of a sudden I'm in my pod, and then I'm here. And now you're awake and you're not dead. But you know you're dead, right?
But you're right, but you know you're dead. I do appreciate though when he was trying to work it out. He said, "No, well, why didn't you go look for him in his room?" I did.
She's like, I
Obviously, he
did.
wasn't there because he was in the middle of
And
stabbing
then
you. So obviously,
she's
the
like,
next place
how
I'm gonna look
long?
is with you.
Yeah. But then the line of question around how long have you been able to do this? And then he was
I
like,
think she's gonna do it her
why did
whole
she?
life.
And then she's like this, and she catches the debris that comes in the ship, and she looks
Hmm.
at it, and she's like, I think I can see the future.
Yeah. Like, and
And
that this is another thing because I'm glad you actually suggested pulling both the episodes in. We find out that she thinks she can see the future. She figures that out now. But remember, we were asking y'all last time how she even learned all the math and whatnot. The chick taught
taught herself.
herself. How the hell do you
Taught
teach
herself.
yourself pre-calculus and calculus and then into physics?
And then
What,
she had an advantage with her intuition, clearly.
bro?
So I do believe
That
like
that
there's
that is
a fine
just
line
such
between
a
brilliance and
that's such a
and
cool
magic.
mind, man.
So
Like, I
yeah.
feel like like me and her would be really good friends because I would just be picking her brain about all of the things. I would make myself useful. Don't get me
I'll make
wrong,
myself
but
useful.
I would love to just to be around her
You'll make
and
yourself
witness
useful.
how her
You'll
brain
make her
works.
you'll make her some Korean thing there.
Hey, look, you know what? I feel like, I mean, that's one of my strong suits, and I think she would be quite fine with that trade off.
Think
I'm
she
just
would.
saying, y'all. Okay, y'all already know I have videos proving this shit. Okay, my curry is bomb.
Yeah, so Gail and Ghost Harry keep talking in episode 8. So that ends episode 7 for their segment. So in
Yes.
episode 8, they're still talking about predictive clarity and the fact that not only did she get driven by math, sh- um, she
Hmm.
had a fear of this wave that she kept dreaming about. And
Yeah.
she kept like couldn't even catch her breath, and the only way she could quell that fear was to teach herself math and figure out a way to try and stop this from happening.
Hmm.
She could always see it. She couldn't get rid of it. This is why she pursued Matt so hard. So she let him know, um, this is why. Why is
That's why
Harry
she
putting?
counts.
But yes, that's why she counts. So she's
That's her
like,
safety net.
hold on a second.
Are we going past episode 9 if we bring up what? No. I mean, I'm sorry, not episode 9, episode 8.
If we
Because
bring up what?
Her leaving Harry.
No, that's episode 8.
Is that in
That's
episode 8?
episode
Okay,
8. We're gonna get to
I couldn't
that
remember.
because she realizes she knows where they are,
Yeah.
and she tells him she knows where they are, but she doesn't understand why. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
is, um, why are we going to Helicon, Harry? And sorry, my phone keeps picking up what I'm saying because I just text my son that his father's picking him up, and I accidentally touch the pick up my
Yeah.
voice thing. Sorry.
Good job.
Fix now. He was gonna get all of that and be like, "Mommy, what?"
No, well, are you okay?
Exactly.
What am I supposed to do with this information?
What do I do with this? Who's Harry? And who's this person? That would have been awesome. Anyway,
Oh, the misadventures we get on.
and Harry doesn't want to reveal to her why they're going to Helicon. In
Which is so
addition,
stupid.
in episode 7, did you hear what he said? You were meant to be on Terminus.
You were meant to be on
In the
Terminus.
first foundation. And he's like, who's in charge? So now he's perturbed, like, you skewed my plan.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, Louis Pyrene. She goes, well, he'll get them through the first couple of years, but
But
to lead them through the crisis.
And this again, see, and what did I say when we first started talking about him? That boy was not ready, and Harry already knew. That's why he wasn't put in charge.
They need someone else. Well, guess what, Harry? They got it.
Yeah,
because Raish and Gail got together. So no, you can't predict everything.
He was never going to leave you.
A piece of her was still there to do exactly what you wanted her to do, and in the form of Salvor.
Yes, and that was a hunch that I had back when we were talking about episode 3 and 4.
I said it
was because of the time span is Salvo actually like her daughter somehow, and yet coming to find out in these 2 episodes, yes, that is confirmed.
Yeah. So that's in this episode is when I guessed that as well, because I'm like, those 2 old people. She don't look nothing like either of them.
She doesn't. And I know genetics are funny. You can never really predict how everyone's going to look.
They usually cast people that look like you for your child.
And exactly. Exactly. There's a reason.
And the fact that she keeps seeing Raish, I'm like, she's connected to those memories somehow.
Which is I think that's another reason. And it's interesting because I think if she would have seen images of them as adults, she would have figured it out a lot quicker. But because she was seeing them as children, she didn't even try to factor in.
She didn't even
she was just seeing through their eyes at first.
She was Gail, and she was seeing Raish, which is crazy to me.
She always thought it was just like Harry in the void ship thing, sending her images, and Harry was looking at her like,
I have no idea who you are.
I'm glad to meet you. Thank you for working it out. Now we could really get things started, but I wasn't talking to you, bro. I mean, I wish I was. Obviously, you're going to be my ally because I see you got the site, but that wasn't me.
And then she keeps asking him about Helicon. He's not answering her. And then she rightfully guessed, you're starting a second foundation. Why?
Like,
Why
bro,
are
this
you
ain't a
doing
church.
That? But you hear him say it's to save mankind. So I'm like, what do you mean? Why?
What is the quickest way to get people together that with our stupid, feeble human minds?
So she's
make a damn religion out of
he's
it.
Like, you can come with me to start the second foundation. Now that we know, I don't really want to tell you because with this ability you have, you might skew it if you
Mm-hmm.
tell me too much of what you're predicting and seeing in the future. And she's like, well, no, you can't study me. I'm tired of being used. I'm done with this.
Right, like, bro, you could have told me all of this information from
I love
jump.
how she was like, y'all were about to leave me behind on Terminus anyway. You were done with me after Terminus, so be done with me now. Okay, Negro?
And that's when we start, and that's when he tried to put her in that whole guilt trip. Talk
Yes.
about, well, you could have just submitted the whole the numbers
Anonymously.
anonymously, like you
She
wanted
wanted
that
to
recognition.
succeed. She was
Well,
like,
it wasn't
no,
really
I
about
did it to
recognition.
save my
She wanted to
planet.
get off that planet.
I
So,
wanted to save my people on the
and
planet.
you got
That was my
nerve, you
whole
got
thing.
the gumption, the caucasity of it all to try to call her out with all of the fuck shit that you have on your ledger,
I
sir.
know. I
You're
know.
you're
His
you're
ledger
not
is
even a
tripping.
real human anymore. You're an AI
Now
program
you're an
that is
AI.
still fucking up and trying to
I
manipulate this
love
girl,
how
and
she
she
was
sees
she
right through
was
you.
like she ruins the heat transfer
Not today.
system, so he has to let her off the planet. She's like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
either gonna die here, or I'm gonna die going to
Like,
where I
bro,
want to go in my pod, which is gonna be. She's
I
like,
wasn't even
information doesn't
supposed to
get
be here.
destroyed, so maybe you'll survive, but good luck with that. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
out.
Right, like I wasn't supposed to be here. What you trying to keep me here
No,
for?
she's like, "You
Just let
don't
me
need
go.
me." And that's a valid point. When she said, "You don't need me," because I was never factored into the plan long
That
term
part.
like this. So I'm
Yep.
out. And she was right. And she
And
was
she was
like,
exactly right.
she programmed her little pod and it
100%
said
exactly right.
138 imperial years to Synax, and she was like, frig it.
Okay,
Confirm.
I'll just go back to sleep.
Confirm. Just put me to sleep.
Like, she was
Where was
already
I?
asleep. Like, I already just woke up from a nap that was like 100
1,220
years.
whattever and started counting her
I can go.
primes again. I
What's
was
another
like, girl,
138? I'm
right?
gonna be asleep. I'm good.
She was out. She was
Put
out
me
of
in my
there.
pot. I'm gone, bruh.
Yep. She was like deuces, and that was the end of that. So that was Gail and Harry episodes 8 and 9, 7 and 8.
7 and 8.
All right. So where do we want to go next? Going back to 7, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
go to Salvor and the ship and the Invictus.
Yes.
Can we do that?
Yes. Which is a
That
really,
can
really
also
cool
be a
looking
wrapped
ship.
up too. So they get to the Invictus. We saw last time that
Mm-hmm.
they saw where it is. They saw that it had destroyed 2 other Anacreon ships that tried to approach it. Its weapon systems are still
Yeah,
intact.
the defenses were
So
all on.
they have to propel themselves in suits. Oh, I was like, oh
Bruh.
hell to the no. This is where I would have died. Cause
See,
no.
and I feel like this is a good spot also to call back in that conversation that Salvo was having with homeboy like the day before all of these things happened in their world. Bro,
Hugo.
your girl's spiraling out of control. Like, I
Oh,
understand what you're trying to do. I get it. However, she don't care really that much about y'all as much as you think she do. She cares about the plan and her goal. That's it. She's putting herself into martyrdom and just taking all y'all with her. Do you
what
really
was
want to die?
worse
You really
is
want to do this?
they get to the door and she pushes Salvor out there on 3. She's like, I'm gonna go on 3. She goes 1 and pushes.
You her. Do you want her to survive this or not? That type of reckless behavior, like, and again, I'm yelling about Farah. I do have respect for her, and some of the things that she's done, I like the way she did it. But overall, right here, this is why I knew she was going to fail in the last
Yeah,
episode, because she's too
look,
single-minded. She
she's
doesn't want to see
very
the full
very
whole
one
picture.
track. Yeah. So on their first, and before they even left the ship, though, Salvor, the guy from the Empire, and Hugo start their little side conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Hugo says he used to do mining over there. There are probably some comms buoys still available. He gonna check to see if 1 or 2 of them is ready. And I didn't peep this until I watched it a second time.
Same.
Salvor says to him, she goes, "Do you know what you're doing?" And he goes, "Almost never, lover." He's like, basically, he's
Just
like,
like
"I'm gonna
your
wing
ass
it.
stumbling through and trying to
He's
push
like,
it out, Salvo. Perfect
he's
match,
like,
these two.
he's like, I'm gonna wing it. Just go with it. And he pretends to miss the jump.
And
He's
I'm
like, it's
so
not
distraught.
working. Bye, Salvor. And the first time I watched it, I was like,
Ooh.
no, Hugo, no. And then the second time, I was like, oh, they acted.
I was like, oh, you motherfuckers, how did I miss that?
And then
Because and
Farrah's
what we're
so
talking about,
mad,
y'all,
talking about
we get
save
to
your
we get
tears,
through there,
save your
bruh.
tears, Warden. We don't have time for it,
Yeah, we don't have time for that. Again,
girl.
you need me. Do you really want to keep popping off at the mouth like that?
Yeah, I really thought we lost Hugo to space, though. I was really
Yeah,
upset
I
that
was
for
so
the first
distraught. I was
time.
like, damn it, man, her
But
daddy just died. Now her man's
I
is gone.
know. I was
We're gonna
like, how
kill
much
her
they gonna take from this
shit.
girl?
Like, you're
But
right. Can
anyway,
y'all can
so
Salvo not suffer every 5
right? Oh
minutes?
no, she has some sufferations coming. Anyway, so
Man.
they get to the door. He puts his hand there. His nanobots open the door. They
Mm-hmm.
go in, and then Mr. Pyrene walks too close to one of the other people and sets off the guns. They have to take
Salvo tried to
cover.
tell him. Salvo tried
Yes,
to tell him, but again,
no,
nobody wants to listen when Salvo speaks.
nobody wants to
So
listen.
like 3 people ended up
I
dead.
don't know if he thought they were on a 3-hour tour or what. This is how the people got lost on Gilligan's Island. Pay attention.
If somebody tells you,
Pay
hey,
attention,
stop,
Mr.
you're
Tyrene.
in an area
Like,
that is
wait,
dangerous and
what?
you don't know what's
Wait,
about to
what?
happen.
Guns are
If
popping
I'm going
off.
like this and you say
Shot
pause,
at. Exactly.
I'm freezing.
So he goes ahead and puts his nanobots in. It stops the guns. And as soon as they all get in the door, Farrah pops him, sends him out
Like,
to
what do you?
space.
Oh well, he served his purpose. How do you know that?
Exactly. So now
How do you
there
know
goes
he
their
served his
plan.
purpose?
Apparently, he had some kind of recorder in his head that would have sent the message to Empire once Hugo got the comms buoy up. Now that she shot him, there goes that plan. So now Hugo and Salvo are basically on their own. They got to wing it. And what a
And
pair
boy,
to
did
wing
they!
it.
Boy, did they!
You
Right? If
know?
you want to wing it, I feel like those are their house words.
Yes.
Let's just wing it.
Just wing it. What's the worst that could happen?
Talk about some people that always win, no matter
Right?
all the races you throw in their plan. Look,
Go with the
these two
flow.
right here.
Exactly. Then, yeah, they get on the Invictus. They're walking through. There's like dead bodies in the sky. The gravity thing isn't
Oh, it was
done.
so
Like they have to
gross.
do all kinds of fixing. It's gross. It's so gross.
Ooh,
Like I can't.
like
That
talk
what
about a
a
ghost
horrible
ship.
way to die. What a horrible way to die.
Right,
And then he's preserved like
starving and
that
freezing in space.
in space. Just no,
Oof.
no, thank you. No bueno. So they
Mm.
get through. There's like doors that they have to fix. She puts Salvor in cuffs, but of course Salvor is gonna talk her way out of everything. And they get to a point where um they have to take off the cuffs. They make an attempt to
Mm-hmm.
overpower them. It doesn't work. Somebody gets killed. Um,
Almost.
and
The next round is when they actually
the
do
next round is
break
when
away
they
from them.
actually do it.
But
Episode
4
8.
more people died in that
Yeah.
first fight. So now it's
Before,
literally just
yeah,
Farah,
but
the
then
dude,
they discover that
and
the ship is gonna
Salvo.
jump soon,
Yeah.
and basically
Wait,
Farah tells
that's one
them
thing we missed.
what?
The ship has been counting down
Yes,
since they got past that first barrier. And
correct.
the guy that was the head of Terminus that came on, that was taken with Salvo, he has been timing all of the
Irene,
notifications because they don't know what the
yeah,
notifications are for. But he's having a guess. So, kudos
like
to the
it's
science
doing
mind,
some kind
still
of
working it out.
countdown. These
And he
lights
figures
mean
out, yeah,
something.
it's a countdown for the ship to jump.
Yep. So they have to get control of it within the next 4 hours, or there's gonna be
Or
hell
less.
to pay of what's going on. So they keep going. And in episode, basically, Farah tells her, "We're in this together. You're never leaving the ship. We're going to use the ship
You sure
to
about that?
get our
I really think Farah
revenge."
stopped giving her ultimatums.
I'm so sick of her. I
And I
was sick
also,
of
at
her.
this
This
point,
episode made me sick of her. I was like, you know what? You
same.
need to just
At this
die
point, I
now.
was looking at her like, you know what? I don't understand why anyone is still following her. Because
Yeah,
yeah, she has a gun in your face and you're afraid. She's doing is threatening your people. I'll go back to Terminus and kill all the children, all the men, all the women, and I'll save your mom for
mhm,
last. And you gonna kill her anyway, though.
exactly.
You just told me I'm not gonna be leaving this ship. So why do I really care? I'm not helping you with shit. Shoot me.
Yep.
I bet you don't go nowhere.
So
I
they
don't
end up
understand why they stay giving into her her power trips.
In between, in the middle of episode 8, though, we see that in the beginning of episode 8, actually, we get to see what actually happened to Farah on the day that the bombing happened. Like, she and her brother were out playing, and then
Two
all of
cute
a
little kids,
sudden,
man.
they see like these lights coming in the sky. Her brother was like a ways down the path from her, and
Yeah,
then
and
all of a sudden, these bombs come, and she
he's
sees him
vaporized,
vaporized by the
gone.
fire,
And you
and
see
it's
her
like
face being hit
burned the side
right
of
when
her
it cuts
face,
the
and then all of
scene.
a sudden it comes back to her
Oof.
in the real time. And she tells Salvor that the plan is revenge, and she will help her to do it because they're planning to jump the ship right in the middle of Terminus and obliterate that planet, basically. And
No,
they
no,
only
it
have,
wasn't Terminus. It was Tantor.
I'm sorry, Trantor, and
Trantor.
obliterate them. And she wants to. They have 30 minutes left, is what Pyrene tells them.
Yeah.
So, Salvor tries to convince Farah that Farah's companion to go against Farah. Like, she intuits that he has a daughter. She's like, I know that half your population was dead, and I know that Farah thinks that she's
He was looking at
and
her like,
grave. He's like, how are you doing this?
bitch, how the fuck you know that though?
She's like, didn't Farah tell you? People are
I have
opening
not
books
said
to
2
me.
words to you
But did you hear what she said?
without putting
People
a
are
gun in
opening
your
books to
face.
me, and all I see in Farah is a black
Like, oh
hole of
wait, Farrah didn't tell you
revenge.
that?
But right now, your people are still having Anacreon babies are being born every day. You got to
Yep.
think about the
Your people
future.
aren't dying out.
Yeah,
Life is hard for them, absolutely, but y'all are
yeah.
still going.
So finally, it's down to just her and Louis Pyrene, and they get to the last door, and there's a
They
thing
pull a okey
shooting
doke.
at them. Did you see the thing shooting at them?
Mm-hmm.
And then she makes Farah go and she's like, you draw its gaze so I can shoot it. Farah's like, what if
The
you miss?
person who you still need, you
She's
won't put
like,
them in the most danger and
what
tell
if
her
you
to draw the
miss?
fire.
And what does she say? She goes, then you'll be dead.
Bitch,
Like,
then you'll be dead
no,
too. Your
then
whole
you'll
plan
be
is
dead.
dead in the water if she dies.
Yep.
And this is the issue. This is the issue. And I agree with you again. This is the episode where I was just looking at Farah like, okay, bitch, I'm done. I can't
Exactly.
even with you right now. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
You have to die now.
I know. Like, this is when I was done. I was like, I'm not even sorry for you no more because you really are on
Nope, not at all.
F shit. So sorry. So they don't overpower, but she shoots at Farah and she pulls Louis Pyrene into the door and she locks them out. So they're now in the cockpit and they're trying to figure out how to jump the ship themselves. They want to jump it back to Terminus. But she's like, we got to do this quick because they're going to come in. The old tech looks like the Expanse tech. Did you notice?
Mm-hmm. When I was looking at that, I
gotta juice up and like put the thing in their head.
The first thing in my mind was, hold on, this shit look like the Expanse real quick. And then later on, the two what do they call them? The spacers. How lanky their bodies are and they're super skinny. So, oh, they look like belters. So yeah, the Expanse was heavy in my brain for these 2 episodes.
I like when they stick with the lore of what would happen,
real world science
in that time. Yeah. So
I love it.
So at least that happens, and she and Louis are having a conversation about what they're gonna do next, and he tells her how this is used, how it would hook up to them, that people's brains were basically the driver or the computer that would wish, because it was intuitive.
Like there was something in their blood. They were prepared for it. Like it wasn't just like the Matrix. You were just jacking in through skin. No, they were prepared for it. Like they had the things back there. Yeah. So they actually kind of became one with the ship.
Do it without the surgery. Like, wouldn't it find the right neuron? And he was like, taking chances. And then like, I'm gonna do it. And he's like, respect. And I'm like, you see, white man.
I knew at that point in time he wasn't gonna let her do it. I didn't know how it was gonna happen, but I was sure he was not gonna let her do that.
But look what she has to, look all the things she had to do to earn his respect.
Like, if you would
I'm
just
just
listen
saying.
to me in the first place, them assholes
I'm
wouldn't
just
even
saying.
been
If
on the
you didn't take
planet.
her to the tower, you didn't even have to listen to me about, oh, there might be people here. But once I caught her and you could see for yourself, and I told you not to take her to the tower, we wouldn't be here, sir. None of us would be
This
here
is
on
your
this
fault.
god awful ship.
And I remember you said that he does redeem himself, and yeah, I saw it in this, and I was like, okay, I mean, that all right, but yeah, he kind of owed her that.
He
He
owed her that
absolutely owed her that.
big time.
Lady D.
Hey, he sure owed her. So I'm glad that he was actually
And he
able to
did
come
it.
to terms and apologize to her. But yes, he ends up jumping the ship back home in the next episode, but we don't see that
He
yet.
did the one thing I do like how they did it though, because Far and the guy, they did get in and they fought, but then the ship started to jump, and that
So they
basically
couldn't
the
move.
gravity
Yeah,
just like sucked everybody down. So this dude, he
correct.
had to crawl over there, push that skeleton out of the seat, and jack in while that much pressure was going against his body.
And he
So
was
for
still
real,
holding her
kudos to him.
coin.
And he
He was
he
still
was still
holding her
holding her coin
coin.
for luck, just like.
That
Like,
was
okay,
dope.
so you did have common sense. You were just too comfortable on the planet.
Bullheaded.
That's what
No,
it
because he
was.
was in power. You know, power corrupts. Absolute power
Yeah,
corrupts
yeah.
absolutely.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so back
Thank you,
to
B.
what I want to do. Do we want to do? I want to do Empire
We're gonna go.
on the
Oh
Maiden
boy. Ooh, these 2 episodes for the Empire was juicy.
for day, for
I
day.
was,
Okay,
and
I was
this is another
here for
theory
day.
confirmed. Let's go. Start it up.
I
Start it
was
up.
here for day. So on the Maiden, Day is he's meeting with Damozel for
Mhm.
oh, he's mad at her. Sorry. He's mad at
He's
her because she
he
bowed
stay
down.
mad at her, man.
No, because she
Dude,
bowed.
showing his feelings.
Now, how
I
dare
know,
you
I know.
worship this false god over me? I don't recognize that. What do you mean you bowed to the motherless person that I am? Now he's in his feelings. Oh my gosh. He's
See,
mad
and
at her,
that's the
guilt tripping
problem.
her.
That is the problem with this day and dawn. Both of them, y'all. And I understand. I don't want them to be just bloodthirsty, ruthless out here. But
Yeah.
y'all are too much swaying the wrong way. You are
Yeah.
very much out of balance, especially where Dusk is. And Dusk has a whole lot to say about the situations once they get back together. But first of all, Day, you're on a planet where this thing is sacred to these
Yeah.
people. It should
And he
not
has
take
no respect.
Demoiselle to tell you that you need to respect that
She
a little
she
bit.
keeps
But this is
trying to
how
rein
idiotic
him
he
in,
is.
but she has no control over this one. This one is a
Yeah,
wild card. And I'm
I
sorry,
think.
I think he is as much of an outlier as Dawn,
Yeah, I
in my
think him and
opinion.
Dawn both are.
I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
something is wrong with you because you have no respect for these people. And
But
you're
then
not even
again,
trying to hide it. He is so condescending. It is ridiculous. It's palpable. I'm like,
ridiculous.
guy.
There's.
Anyway,
I think his personality was going to be like that anyways. But I think it does also have to do with the contamination.
yeah. But I don't think he
It's
ever
almost like they
confessed it,
ramped their vanity up a little too much.
by the
So
way.
now they really can't even try to see a vision. All they see is themselves.
Yeah. So then he says to her, actually, they get interrupted by someone who comes and tells them that Miss Halima, Zephyr Halima, has risen in the ranks
Mm-hmm.
after her speech. She's now the
Mm-hmm.
front
Because they
runner.
all heard that like,
And he's
oh,
like,
sister speaking
oh
good
no.
sense.
So now I have to go do something. I got in front of this. So he
That's what
asked,
happens if you would have listened and not been disrespectful in the first place. You might have been okay.
he asked Damozel, what do you think? What should we do? So Damozel starts putting out their regular game plan, right? We can just
Mm-hmm.
censor her rhetoric. We can make sure that any words she says that we don't want out there are eliminated from any of
It
her
doesn't get out
speeches,
there, yeah.
like genetic dynasty. And I'm like, how much of this do we do today in the news cycle?
Son.
Like I look at some of this stuff and I'm like, how do we do this in real time, real day today? What
How
types
did we
of
get
things
through
do they
this during
censor?
the first one?
Yeah.
How did all of these things actually come in here? And we also find out how old Demoiselle is
No, no,
in
no,
these
not
two
yet. Not
episodes, and
yet.
I'm
Don't go
like,
there yet.
I wasn't gonna say the
Not
number.
yet.
It's
Not
just
yet.
boy,
Not yet.
so
So
much.
he says to Demerzel, I'm not gonna play defense with this woman because now he sees this as
Hmm.
a challenge to challenge this woman because this is now a fight he has
Why
to
did it
win.
take that
Because
to motivate him?
that
That's exactly what
ego,
it
man.
is.
So he's like, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
win at her own game. So he's like, let's go talk to her so I can figure out what it is she really wants. So they go down, and
She wants exactly what they said.
she's at where the people walk the spiral for their enlightenment. And she's servicing the people who have walked the spiral and either got off the path for help or have walked the spiral, completed it, and now need medical attention. She's attending to them. He goes in
Yeah.
there and he's pretending to be nice, and he takes the hand of a man there and he goes, "Oh, what a sacred thing!" And he's praising him, and she's like, "Oh, what do you want, Cleon?"
Mhm. I love the
Amazon
disrespect.
the
I
word to
love the
trash this
disrespect
empire, and she looks
because she
at
just
her
looks at him. You do
like
see this is
really,
a healing tent,
like
right?
don't
This is the
correct me
hospital.
here.
Nobody give a fuck who you are here.
This is my place, not yours. Like you don't
Right.
correct me here,
Like,
lady.
look here, child. Okay,
And she's
you
like, well, like
mind your p's and q's over here. This isn't
yes,
the empire
even
right here.
he
This is
tries to
my
say
shit.
something about how sacred walking the path is, and she's like, yeah, I'm sure that you've been well briefed on
That
how this works
and she wasn't wrong.
by your
I mean, that's why I don't
advisor.
understand why he
And
was upset.
it's how she
All she
points
did
to
was tell him the
Demerzel
truth.
like this, your advisor. And she's
I
like,
wasn't
yeah,
mad at it.
you know,
The petty was
he
real, and
made
y'all know I enjoy a good
that he was
petty, and he
real.
deserved it.
And
He
he's
deserved
like,
it.
what do you need? Because I'm quite busy here. And he's like,
I already told
I
you what
want
I
to
wanted, bro.
know. No. She said, I want to know. He's like, I want to know what you really want. What is your actual ask? What do you actually want? I can add. He offers her something, protection for her people or something like that,
He
safe
basically
travel,
throws money
in
at her, like,
addition to the
here.
water thing that he's
Hmm.
setting up for the rest of them. And she's
Like, dude, if
like,
that's a part of your
she's,
empire, you should have
she's
been
like,
doing this shit already, though.
I don't think we're on the same page, you and I. I think we've gotten off to the
Not at
wrong start.
all.
You're a soulless creature. She's like, what do I want?
Yep.
I'm going to tell you. End the Cleonic dynasty. And he was like, what do you mean? She goes, because it's not right. You are just an echo of a dead man
Of a dead
reverberating
man.
in the universe. And she's like, a soulless creature cannot recognize itself. If that is not the quote of the century,
100% read.
girl.
Bombastic side eye. Seriously.
It was
Like,
crippling
like
offensive
she
for
is the face of like all side eye now in my brain. Because she just calls his bullshit out and talks to him
She
straight.
called
And
him
I don't think
soulless.
he's used to dealing with people like that.
No, he's not used to people telling him the truth straight to his face, plain and straight.
Like, you can't even
He
see
was
yourself.
plain and straight.
I will also give her
So
kudos. The words do resonate. They just don't resonate right here until some
but
other shit happens when he gets
he
home.
was like, "Is that a threat?" And she was
And she
like,
just looked at him
"No."
like,
Oh, he
did you
also
hear
said,
anything I just said?
"I didn't know that Zephyrs could see the future." And she goes, "I don't see the future. This is just a feeling of what's right and what's wrong." And she tries to explain
Because
to
he
him.
can't think outside of his own thinking. He can't think outside of their own
I
like
don't
box
know
that
that
they put
she
themselves in.
knew the danger she was in that moment, though, because I really
No.
thought he was gonna just snap her neck right there and then. But they go back
I'll
to the
give him one
quarters.
point for restraint right there. He
Restraint,
could have,
yeah,
but had he done that, it would have messed everything up.
everything up for him. So Damrzel and him are discussing Halima, and they decide that the strategy is going to be that he is going to appeal to the goddesses themselves. And he goes out and makes the announcement to the other Zephyrs that he is
I'm
going to
going
walk
to
the
walk this.
spiral and let it
What
be
can we equate
decided
that to?
by the maiden, the mother, and the crone
In the
whether or
crone,
not
shout out to the seven.
he
Okay,
truly
wait,
is
hold on.
who they told us
For
he
our
were.
real world things, like different religion practices, what can we equate that to? Because I almost want to say it's like wasn't there some road or something with getting to Mecca in the Islamic faith, or am I
Um,
mixing that up with something
Pilgrimage?
else?
Yeah, no, you're talking about Mecca. You're talking about
Yeah,
Muslims.
like, isn't
They
that like
walk
like this is almost
some
their
kind of
form of
road.
making a
I
pilgrimage?
don't, I don't want to speak to it because I don't know 100%. But yeah, pilgrimage
Yeah,
to
yes,
Mecca.
yeah, and that's why I'm
That's
asking.
that's what I know. I don't know what it all entails. I don't know what the steps are. I don't know if they have to
Okay.
fast first. I don't know what, is all
Yeah,
included.
yeah.
I don't want to
Here there are
offend
specific
anyone, but
rules.
there are rules.
Yeah, if anybody that's watching knows, drop it in the chat or in the comments for me.
Yep.
Hey,
So yeah.
Luna.
Yep. So
All right, so after he's done talking his shit,
but it's this like God in threes too. Like we have that in Christianity too, though. Father, Son, and
yeah,
Holy
the Holy
Spirit,
Trinity.
right? The Trinity is, I
Ah,
like that these themes carry through.
thank you,
Pilgrimage to
Luna.
Me- Medina.
Medina.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know a whole lot about it. I remember hearing like a little blurb about it in school. They were teaching us about different religions. So
Okay.
I definitely don't know the process. It just clicked in my brain.
So
The
he
rules to this
decides
walk
to
too.
walk the spiral. There are rules to this walk. He has. Oh yeah. So we begin episode 8 with him when they go back to the maiden. He's learning what
Mm-hmm.
these rules are. He can't have his nano things
Yep.
that help him
All
with.
organic, all
It
inorganic
all
material
has
has to
to
be
come
gone.
out. He can only have on this piece of cloth on his body, so you're exposed to the elements. Now that's got to be shocking for someone who's never felt
That's very
pain
close to it too, Luna.
or anything like that. So that was amazing to me that he
That's
was
kind of
brave
why I
enough
thought he
for
wasn't
that.
gonna make it.
And I also didn't think that he psychologically understood what that would be like.
What
And
that actually
also,
meant.
he's such an angry person that I was like, yeah, his anger is going to drive him through it anyway, which it did.
Mm-hmm. Because
And
he cannot fathom any situation that he does not win.
win, exactly.
So that's
Wow,
basically
what a
what
great
drove
place
him
to
on this
live.
walk.
What a great world to live in. Must be nice.
and
Anyway,
and shout out
you
to
can't.
the old man that he's about to meet too.
Oh, such a sweet man.
Such a pleasant
But
soul. Such a pleasant
revealed
soul,
too
that
much.
man.
He gave him all the things to use. Oh, before he leaves,
Mm-hmm.
he takes Damrizel's salt pendant, and he was
Yeah,
observing.
which is organic, so it was allowed.
She made all of this. She made a point of telling him that she could only kneel if her programming allowed it, that this was her religion, and if
That's
she
right.
couldn't kneel, it would be disrespectful to the religion, and she is very respectful of this. And she
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to give the Zephyrs additional ammunition against him. And so, in service to that, that is why she did it. And if
Which,
it makes sense,
go ahead, finish.
you
See,
know.
exactly. And this is another reason why I don't get why he keeps, again, getting into his feelings and trying to contradict and second guess everything that she's telling him or just talk down to her so much. Dude, she's programmed to do these things. And mind you, I stand by the thought that, she's an AI that is on the verge of sentience. I think she's been building to it for many a moon. I'm
She's
pretty
been
sure it was
alive
this
long, I'm not
episode that
surprised.
we see tears in her eyes.
Yeah.
So she, again, back to the programming. She can't go against Empire like that.
Well,
If her bowing was going to cause a problem, and she does explain it to him, because I think it went in one ear and out the other for him, though.
he
If
doesn't
it
know
was
the
actually a
extent.
contradiction to his power, her knees wouldn't have even been able to do that. Her waist she would
Told
have,
him.
just like 7 of 9. I
Understand
prefer to
though.
stand.
That
She
is
would have
when
been
I
rigid.
started being very empathetic towards her, is the word I want to
Yeah,
use. Like, what is your
I think
journey?
mine
Like I
just
really
increased.
started looking at her sideways like, girl, you are a servant. You're locked into this thing. And what is your way out?
She's a slave in a very pretty prison.
Yes, she's
That's basically
a
it.
bird in a gilded cage,
And
right?
she has her own mind, and we will see it
Yeah.
again even
Yeah.
strongly later on in these 2 episodes. But
Yep.
yeah, I feel like her story is just completely heartbroken, and
Yep.
I do want to know how it started. I don't know if we'll get
Yes.
that though.
So he shreds his nanobot,
Hold on,
shreds
really quick. Luna
Aura.
just put something in the chat that I think is very prevalent, and that's it right there. Can faith overcome programming? For how I think she is becoming sentient right now, I would say yes, because she is on the verge of having a very large psychological break, and if she wasn't sentient, that's not something that would be possible. So no, I don't think this is she's overriding her programming already. She just doesn't notice that's what it is.
Yeah, I think she's
In my
pushing
opinion,
the
anyway.
boundaries of it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
to see where she could go with it. But yeah,
Yeah.
good luck to her.
Good luck, right? Oh,
Good luck
she's
to
such a
her.
tragic character.
I
Man,
know.
she needs all
So
the hugs.
yes. So they're on the walk. If you fall down and you land on both knees, you're out, basically.
Done.
And you can choose to just kneel there and die, or you can move off of the path and then they assist you with medical attention.
Yeah.
If you fall on one knee, another pilgrim can help you up um, if you accept the help. Um,
Yep.
but if both knees go down, that is a sign of submission and you're done.
That's
You're
yeah.
gonna
It's
die
like you're
there
giving up.
or come off the path. So he's been told
Right.
all this. He knows the rules. The panel of Zephyrs are going, and also at the end, if you make it to the womb, you go into the water, and apparently you're supposed to get a vision if you're granted one. And if you've granted a vision, you come back, and the panel of Zephyrs will interpret what you saw. So Damrzel tells him this, warns him of the danger. She says, this is the first time you're going to experience pain. There's going to be heat, exhaustion. You're going to get thirsty. Like, she's giving him you're human. This
Yeah.
is what you're going
And
to
he
feel.
has to battle all of that along the
Yep.
way. And we see, and they do a really good job showing the visuals for that too.
Yeah. So you see him go from a very
Right. The rules are hella
white
elegant.
man, a little white man, to a very brown-skinned Mexican-looking man. Because this son is
Facts.
no joke.
I was like, damn, Thranduil, you looking just as brown as them trees in Mirkwood, bruh. Homie came out with a whole ass bodybuilder going to the Arnold Classic tan spray on his face.
Yes, he walks on
And
the
mind
road.
you, they had him looking like Space Jesus, walking out of there with just a damn loincloth on.
Oh my god. But everybody else had on this little piece of gauze,
I mean, he did have a little shawl, but he lost it along the path.
Lost it along the path somewhere. So yeah, he meets this old man. This old man, he's trying to hurry up to get to the middle. You see him trying to book it.
He's like,
The
whoa,
old man's
whoa,
like,
young
no,
buck.
no, you gotta preserve some of that
Conserve your energy. Pace yourself.
Pace yourself. Go easy. And he's like, oh, are there any other dangers you want to advise me of? And he goes,
And he just looks at him and chuckles.
Actually,
like
he said, did you hear the first question he asked him? Have you done this before?
Oh, yeah. He asked if he's done it before. He was like, nope.
He said,
but
no,
I talked to people that have.
Spoken to a number of people who have. And then the next question is, what did they say about the vision? Did you hear that
this
part?
Guy.
He was like, what did they say about the vision
guy.
that they got in the womb? He goes, not much. Only one person told me that when they went into the water, they saw that the particles were swirling and then they got the vision. They never actually said what they saw, but if you make it, you make sure you tell me what you saw, type of thing. So he took from that, I thought.
And I didn't even catch it until it got to the end.
I was like, look at him just gathering information. So he asked Damrzel too. Like, he took the salt thing from her. He was examining it. You could tell, like, he was playing chess while the rest of us
was because were I really truly paying attention? I paid attention when he took the salt, and I was like, okay, that's on like a leather twine, so that is organic. The salt itself, organic, so nobody's gonna give him flack on taking that. But why did he take that? Because he needed to make it look good.
And this gentleman that he speaks to on the path was such a humble soul. He
Really
talked
was.
about
Such a nice guy.
what he did for a living, that he serviced his empire. Their planet is full of
Hmm.
smog, and his mother made some joke that she never saw his father's face fully until they had their third kid, which I was cracking up at. I was like,
I
this
thought that was hilarious. I was like, you know what?
um,
Yeah, that is absolutely a random ass
very, very
story that's
cute.
people in our family
Yeah.
come up with too.
And then he tells him, I used to be jealous of people who travel, but this is the
Hmm.
only trip that I ever wanted to take. I
That I
saved up
ever
for
really
this,
needed to make.
and folding space is amazing. And then Empire, in his vanity, he goes, "Yeah, the spacers, beautiful creatures, aren't they?" Because they're proud of the fact that
Fucking
they've
idiots.
secured this race
Yeah.
of people just to do the folding of the space, right? He's
Right.
so
Like, I
proud
mean,
of
but bro,
that he
does
can't
that
even
man
help
even know what a
himself.
spacer looks like?
Well, yeah, because he
Does
saw
he?
them on the jump trip. He
No,
saw them
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
jump
Okay.
ship. The
Right, right,
guy had
right.
to take a jump ship to come, so he's like, "Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
amazing, but this is the only trip I've ever wanted to take."
I mean, he over there
Right?
fishing for compliments.
Exactly. He goes, yeah. So they get back to the conversation, and then I feel
Hmm.
like he actually had like genuine moments with this guy, like
He
listening to
did.
him, like, "Oh
I
my
think
God,
he did too.
they have to come." And then after a while, you see him, um, he's like getting exhausted. Day is, and
Mm-hmm.
he stumbles, he falls to one knee,
Falls
and
to one
the
knee.
traveler comes back. He comes back to help him. He's like, "Don't give up, son. You still have strength," and lifts him
Hmm.
up. And let me tell you, he probably never had somebody support him like that. So in
Ever.
that moment, that was like a father figure
So
supporting
like
him. I thought
the look on his face, he
yes,
didn't even know how to process that. It took him a
exactly.
while looking at this man's hand before he reached up.
And that was the only moment that I ever had any kind of empathy for this day, because this day
Hmm.
is a trip. Okay.
Hmm.
So he
Right.
gets
Something
up.
wrong with him.
Something wrong. They start going on, and he makes it. He gets a little farther away from the traveler, and the traveler actually he kneels down now, both knees on the ground,
Yeah.
and he decides that that's where he's going to stay. And
Like, you
he's
know
like,
what?
"Oh no, don't give up now." He's looking in his face, and the look in his face. At first, I was like, "Is that compassion?" But
Almost
it
seemed a
wasn't.
bit sincere.
It almost seemed
Almost.
sincere, but you know what I think it was more than anything? Trying to understand how someone could care so deeply about something that this is what they choose to do.
And he
He
because
will
he
never
cannot even
know that.
fathom.
He
Like,
will
why would
never
you put
know
yourself through this pain? Like, and he's a young man,
that.
and again, he doesn't have the nanobots or anything protecting him anymore. This is the first time he's felt any bit of pain, any bit of exhaustion on this level. It's not even really a tan. It's just straight up sunburn that's
Yeah.
so deep it's turning his skin brown. Like, he's
Yep.
never had to deal with that, and he's doing a decent job at holding it up, but he is trying to understand, like, why would people put themselves through this? And at the end, he obviously still doesn't even get it,
Yeah.
which is why he did what he did. But
And then I
we're
think
on the
he
way to that.
like when the guy dies, I don't know if he felt empathy or if he was like, "You're a loser for giving up." Because when he asked him, "Why don't die here? Let me take you off the path so you can get
Mm.
assistance." And he says, "No, why would I want to die
Where
anywhere
else would
else?
I want to die?
Where else? This is a peaceful way to go. This is where I'll go."
And that's a sacred place for him.
And you see, he tries to test this man's faith one last time. He's like the damn devil.
Hmm.
He goes, "What if this is it? What if there is no other place?"
Get thee behind me, Satan!
I
Miss
thought
me
it
with
was
that
the
shit. Look, bro,
worst.
I done told you what it was. Did you not
This
listen
man
to the
has
last
made his
mile?
peace. This man has made his peace with the world. This is where he
Seriously.
came, his last funds to come and take this pilgrimage. And he said, "If I'm gonna die,
And
I'm
he
gonna
very
moon
well
great. If
knew.
I don't, I will be on the path and I will die." He made his peace.
He
Leave this
knew he
man
might not
alone.
make it. Hmm. Let that man go. I will say I do appreciate once he did pass, he did like put him in a position to where it doesn't look like he just flopped over. Left him with
Yeah,
a little bit of
dignity
dignity heading into the afterlife. I think I will say there is probably the first real little tiny spark
of
of empathy
humanity,
that he
right?
has ever felt.
Yeah.
Tiny,
Yep.
microscopic.
So he keeps going because he gonna win. He's like, I'm going. I'm gonna keep
Of
going.
course,
He makes
he has to win. This is all in the
makes
game plan. This is
the
war for
womb.
him.
And we see him go in the pool and he drinks his water. And then we hear him talking. And I had questions because I'm like, well, how does this work? Does somebody send a drone? How do you know he got to the womb? How do you know somebody needs picking up off the side? Like I
Right?
still
Like,
have,
where's
you
the
know, I want
proof?
to know the logistics. I'm sorry.
Other people. Well,
Anyway,
I would assume there's people watching along the way because we did pass that one guy that was off getting water.
on the side getting water, yeah.
So I think they have
So
people watching, so they would be
and
able to confirm if he made it or not.
right. So anyway, we see him in front of the group of Zephyrs, and they're asking him what he saw, and he says he went into the pool, he drank, and he saw the salt swimming, and then it raised up into the sky,
Lies.
and it birthed a root flower in like three petals, and it had a stem, and it was a vision. And he's like, "What does it mean?" And he goes, "Do you?" They ask him if he's ever heard the legend about the flower that came from their planet, and he said no. And they said, "Oh,
Cat.
it's a vision. It's a holy vision. Um, you definitely saw something, and nobody's ever gonna call you a soulless creature. Nobody without a soul could have seen this
Not to
vision."
his face.
So Zephyr Halima is like dumbfounded because she's like, "Okay, right, all right, well,
And she was
Zephyrs have
right.
spoken, so
Right. She's not right.
whatever."
She's not going to go against her leadership,
Not gonna go
but
against
she knows that
leadership,
she was right all along.
but she just has this feeling that something is not right. But she's gonna
Hmm.
respect the thing. She bows to him. She gives him his
Right. Yep.
props.
She bows. She's like, all
He
right,
at least, I mean, he did walk the spiral. So anybody who walked the spiral is held
is
sacred.
welcome. Yeah.
The Zephyrs, she's gonna go along with it and do that. So that's what
Hmm.
happens. And homeboy just turns and looks at her. And then
Like
right there, and I was like, "Girl, he's gonna kill you."
that's right there is where I was like, wait, so don't go off anywhere at all. Make sure call a damn meeting, okay? Put yourself in a room with a whole bunch of people and stay
Exactly.
far away on the other side of the room from wherever they are if they're still here. But no,
Yep.
it didn't. It sadly didn't work out like that,
Yep.
and I hate it.
And yeah, they gave him a pass. They were like, "Yours is clearly not a soul bound by stagnation, and it is against the law to say so." So he wins. He gets his win. They
And that's
go
the only
towards
reason
the
she shut
ship.
up about it.
They go towards the ship. Homeboy stops and says to her, "Thank you for inspiring me, because without
Mm,
your speech, I wouldn't have been inspired to walk the spiral." And all she
cat.
looks at him, she clasps her hands, and she goes, "Triple blessings to you."
Mhm. I can't.
Like,
I'm not allowed to speak to
Godspeed
you
and
like I
good
want to
luck.
speak to
Yeah,
you.
pretty
So
much.
basically, in her eyes, she was like, "Yeah, all right, motherfucker, fuck you,
Bless your
but
heart.
peace and
Bless your
blessings. Go the
heart.
fuck out of
She
my
did
face
the
now."
down south. Bless your heart to him. She did. She did the bless your
This
heart.
fucking asshole, man. Ugh. Whenever he dies, I'm not gonna be sad.
Oh my god.
Mm,
Oh
mm,
my
mm.
goodness. So he
Just
gives
the extra and the
Damozel
pomp.
back her salts and tells her thank you. It was good luck.
And
And
Dermazel
she
figures
says,
it out so quick.
oh, she says to him,
Mm.
um, no, she doesn't say it to him then, but then
No, I say it later.
we see Halima. She goes to see Halima, and Halima's like, "What's going on? How are you? Good to see you."
Hmm.
And she's like, "I have no choice but to be here." And
Yep.
Halima starts talking to her like, if you don't agree with his rhetoric, you don't have to stay with him. You're not a slave. And she goes, no, you don't understand.
She's like,
I
no,
am.
you don't
She
understand.
goes,
I
but you
actually
said
am.
you walk the spiral, and if you walk the spiral and you have belief and you know better, you shouldn't stay with such a person. And she goes, when did you walk the spiral? And she goes, 11,000 years ago.
1,000.
I was like, what?
11,000.
So Halima's taken aback. She goes, it is true. You
She said,
are a
oh shit, I've
machine.
heard the rumors, but damn.
I've heard the rumors, the things you must have seen, and to be stuck with such a creature. Creature. She still call him a creature.
And you can see it on her face. She's taking
Demerzel
all this
starts
in, and
breaking
she's like,
down. She goes,
nobody knows pains that I've seen.
goes, you're not his slave. And then she stops and she goes, wait,
I'm
he
not gonna
sent
leave
you
this room
here.
alive,
He
am I?
sent you here, didn't he? I'm not going to leave this room alive. And right there, my heart broke because this is my
Mm-hmm.
favorite character. And they
Mm-hmm.
killed her. Demerzel killed her since she came in the room and touched her
She
hand.
had no choice. Yeah.
She
From
has a
that, but yeah, that
trinket
that,
in
that
her
those very
skin.
first couple seconds.
First couple seconds, that lady was already dead. That's why she wasn't too hesitant about telling her about she walked the spiral 11,000 years
She was
ago.
telling her,
You
yep.
ain't walking out this room in my secrets. She's like, your heart will stop. It will look like you died in your sleep. Sorry, goodbye.
And she was so distraught over having to
She
do
was
that.
so
Like you,
distraught.
and
But she
again,
respected
sentience
her.
awakening.
She respected her.
She really liked her, and she hated that she had to kill her.
I
But there was nothing that she can do. At least not yet.
But she goes back and gets some of her vitriol out on Mr. Cleon because she tells him
Yes,
that she knows that she kept that salt thing in a case with one of those flowers.
with the
I
flower,
think the flower is what Demerzel saw when she walked the spiral, which is why she kept the salt with it.
and
And
he
Homeboy,
co-opted that.
he deduced it. And then he got
Hmm.
to add to the story by getting the information
What the
from
old
the
man told him.
traveler about the salt swirling. And
Yep.
he spiced it up nice and good for them Zephyrs because we
He
go
showed
back
just the right
see
amount of
that homeboy, she did not see a thing. And she says to him, I'm glad you got a vision because how empty it would be to go that far and do all that and see nothing. How empty and sad for you that would have been. And she knows what she was doing. She know he didn't see
clap
shit.
back. That was the clap back of the season for me. I was like, damn it, there was like that. That
How
is
empty
my chick,
is that for you?
bruh. It was just so appropriate and just so it was a chef's kiss. Just
It
ah,
was perfect.
everything fell into place, and the look on his face was like, you motherfucker. But he ain't gonna do shit. He ain't
He's
gonna do
not
shit
doing anything.
except go home and be Brody and mad.
Yeah,
Because I
nothing.
mean, yeah, you might have won, but did you really win though?
She and her clapbacks though, it just be quick and swift,
Mm-hmm.
just
It
like her
was,
just.
and it does flash back while she's giving her little speech. It does flash back to the water cave, and it
Yeah,
shows what was actually happening, and it was
but
absolutely
nothing.
nothing. Because
Not even
nah,
a
Leon, you're
ripple
a
in the water.
soulless fucking asshole.
Not even a ripple in the water. And I think
Not
he was
even a
hopeful.
ripple.
I think he was a
Not
little
even one
hopeful.
little
When
butterfly
it
came
didn't
by and
happen,
farted on his
he
face.
just
Nothing.
reverted back to bitterness. Just right back to bitterness. So
And that's why I think
then
she
human.
chose those words that she did. How horrible and lonely and sad that would
Oh,
be.
only
So
and
now
sad.
he's even more in his feelings, and he's
I
about to go
know.
home and try to take it out on his brothers.
Yep.
Speaking of his brothers, I
Speaking
think
of his
that's
brothers,
the last thing
little
we have yet
short,
left, right?
couple
Okay,
short
we,
parts
we
with
might we
that.
might have
So
to do a little bit of a speed round.
yeah, Day is not Day. Dawn is in full romance bloom with the gardener. So
This
her
kid,
name is Azura, and he
Zora.
doesn't want to be called Empire by her. She has to call him Cleon. So she gets him some lenses to correct his vision so he can see green and blue. She convinces him to
Mhm.
wear them when his brothers are not around. He's like, well, um, if I do that, they'll notice. So everything he comes back at her with, she comes back with a reason or a way for him to go around it. Why can't you just, would it be so bad if they knew you were different? Yes, it would be. If they pull on that thread, they're gonna know everything, and then it all
Mhm.
falls apart. They will then download another me, and then he shows her
Yep, they
the
already have one in the incubator that's been growing right along
material
with him, taking
that
in all of his memories as he's
to
going
exist
through. And yet, he could disappear in a matter of
in a
seconds, and
minute.
another one will be on the floor by
Yep.
breakfast.
So he's very fearful of that. And he's like,
Also, young man, public service announcement: when it comes to these pretty women and y'all hormones raging and whatnot, stop and think for a second. But use your brain. Don't
as
think with your
soon as
dick,
they slept
because
together, it was
you
just
end
a
up like
word
this.
vomit of everything and just everything.
Bro,
Here's all the things. Here's the Imperium. Here's the first. Here's my backup. Like she could have contaminated all of that. Just
you took her
right there.
into sacred
You took
places.
her like
In the
talk
cat, you
about
literally opened up the restricted
ooh.
section at Hogwarts and told her to
I
go
felt like
skip through it.
she was in his prayer room that his mama said nobody comes in here. And he was like, look at all the things, touch everything, please. Like,
Right,
why
like
would
he's still a freaking child.
still a
Like
child? But
still
like
running around talking about touch,
clearly
touch,
lonely and fearful because he knows the repercussions of not measuring up. Because clearly
not
that's
measuring up.
a theme in the trio's relationship. You can't not be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they talk about him leaving, and he's like, even if I wanted to, I can. He shows her the nanobot. She's like, there are people that
No,
can
no,
remove that. And
people have had
you're
those
not the
removed.
first one who's ever
Word?
wanted things removed. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not the first one? Only Empire has
I
those.
thought only they had that.
I
Oh,
did
well, no,
too.
their
And
guards have
so does
nanoprobes,
the
but those are
pilot
a different kind,
too.
though.
The pilots do too, actually. So okay, maybe she right. I left it
Hmm,
alone since I
true
remembered that
enough.
the pilot that they stole for the Invictus
It's
had
still
cancer.
nuts though. Like she had,
But
yeah,
she
like you said,
had a
everything he came
extra for
out with,
everything,
she
and
had a
I'm like,
retort for.
she's way too eager
Who?
trying to get him to this scar.
Here's
Why
a
is she
question:
doing this? As soon as she was on,
isn't
come with me. The scar is so beautiful. You can see the sky now. Like that was an opportunity. Why would you think this person doesn't mean you harm?
isn't Brother Dusk in charge of the finer tuning details of his education?
He
Why the
is.
hell was he not learning spycraft and learning how to properly spot
Well,
it
here's the thing.
yet?
Dusk, I think, suspected that there was something wrong with Day for a while now. And so instead,
Mm.
he wanted to see how this plays out, in my opinion. And I thought this
You
right
know
in this
what?
episode, because remember Dusk interviewed the lady that he went to
Yeah,
bed with or was supposed to have gone to bed with.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
was like, they watching you and you don't even know, and you keep doing dumber stuff. It's like giving her that
Well,
little
not only that,
drone
she
to go
told
out
him,
space with. I'm like, they clocked that.
that chick told him, I mean, they're gonna ask, are you sure you want me to like tell them nothing? He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. What do you mean don't worry about it? You don't think it's out of ordinary that they bring you a chick in here and you don't do nothing
Yeah,
with her?
yeah.
That's literally her job and your job also.
He's way too on cloud nine for me. I'm like, come on, you can't be that much of a deviation that you don't get
Like,
like
bro, all you are is
suspicious.
colorblind.
You're
That's
not even
not that's
suspicious
really not that bad.
about her motivation behind any of this. Come on now.
Why
So
are you
anyway,
not thinking about this? She's trying to get you to
takes
leave
him
safety. Stop it.
virtually to the scar, and he's like getting to look around where she lives and all that. So
Mhm.
his head is in the clouds. Who knows how this is gonna play out, but we see how it plays out in
Way in the
episode
clouds,
9.
boy.
Um, but then they also flash to Terminus, where the vault field at the end of episode 8, the vault field is expanding. Salvor's mom is telling the Anacrean guards that they actually have to evacuate
Hmm.
because something's wrong, and they don't listen to
Yep.
her,
And they
and
don't listen. What the hell is with Farr and her people?
they don't listen to anyone. They don't listen to
The
anything.
dude actually tried to almost started laughing And
Yeah, he did.
she looked at him like, "Yo, this
That's
shit
the
is gonna
logic.
affect me and my people too. You think I'm playing?"
Exactly. It's not just you. Like, yeah. So, but
So
anyway,
ignorant,
that episode
so ignorant.
ends. Episode 8 actually ends with Damerzel dropping the bomb on Cleon right before he goes to sleep to fold space. That seeing nothing would be so sad for him, and then she wishes him sweet dreams, which is freaking
Hmm.
hilarious.
So
Because
that's the
why would you
last
leave
thing in her
someone
brain.
in that
Yo,
mental space?
the shade of it all. Like, oh, and again, I don't understand. Y'all are supposed to be so smart and so intuitive. You don't see this bitch clocking your fuck shit and calling you out
All the
more and
time,
more.
all the time.
Like,
And I
and this is
think
why all girl said, y'all don't even see yourselves
no, a soulless creature cannot recognize himself. They're so arrogant. They're so arrogant just in general. All three of them,
in
to tell you
general.
the truth.
Yeah,
Because the young one, he just thinks, oh, she's in love with me. She won't do anything. I think that's where his head is at. The eldest
that's
one is
exactly
like,
where it is.
I know all the
That's why
things.
they picked him to
I
go
can
after.
flex all my muscle anywhere I want to at any time. These
Hmm.
these little young whippersnappers have nothing on me. And then the middle one is just an angry narcissistic tyrant.
Like, I'm the one in charge. You can give me advice, brother, but I don't have to listen.
With
He's
no
so
respect
dismissive.
for anything, including the
None.
religion.
But you want
Damn.
people to kowtow and bow down to you all the damn time.
And this is
Oof.
why you gotta care about something, people. You gotta
Yeah.
care about something. You gotta have a moral
And you
compass.
have
You gotta have
to,
something guiding your life because otherwise you just spiral out.
there was one part in this where he's analyzing a little bit of like that comment about stagnation. He's like, Harry Selwick said this like a few centuries ago, when because it has been like 100 plus years already, or
Right.
for where we're at
Yeah.
right now. And this is in the when he
The tent,
gets
yeah,
called on
when
that
you're
phone. So yeah,
talking to
yeah,
Death
go through. Let's
Helene.
run through that sequence real quick. Once he gets home, and then Dawn has to be go
That's
through that thing
episode
that he went
9.
through. That is it. Okay. See. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I was asking you because I couldn't remember where exactly it cut off. Okay, so never mind.
that's 9. Yeah,
Strike
it
that from
cuts
the
off
record.
with them going home, and then yeah, first crisis.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like he.
that
I
happens
want.
when
I
Dawn is
had some. Go ahead.
planning his escape.
This kid, man. I wanted to like him because it seemed like he was actually gonna play it really smart, bucking the system. Like the decision he made
He
to hide
folded like a
some of
leaf,
his
son.
kills before.
He
So
folded like
you
a
put one pretty
leaf.
girl smiling at him, it was all.
He folded like a leaf. And I wonder in the past lives of the teenage Cleon how that played out.
Were there any other shenanigans?
Yeah.
Because it's still, even though you're a clone, that's still a teenager. Like, how do you not
It almost
have
feels like
shenanigans?
that would be a natural thing. Your hormones, the
You
closest
would think,
girl
but
you fall
they're not
for, your
natural
first
though.
crush. But still,
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
did like too, speaking of real world applications or real world
Real world science.
predictions of what something would look like, he had no belly
Yeah.
button when they had sex the first time.
Yep.
It was very Kyle
Hmm.
XY.
Like, y'all do realize that in itself is maybe that the poisoning was happening long before we even figured it out, because you
True.
don't have a belly button, bro. When did you stop having a belly button? Because that's when the
Right.
first deviant came in.
Because we don't I don't ever remember seeing the clones growing with an umbilical cord.
Yeah, no, they were just in stasis.
They were just in stasis. So no, they wouldn't. There's nothing to cut them from.
Hmm.
'Cause, they are
All you gotta
motherless
do is
children.
drain the liquid and pull them out. So
Motherless and
yeah, and this again, all this nonsense. This is why people don't like y'all. This is why these rebellions will keep coming. This is why people will always still seek of some way to get at y'all, because you're not doing shit. You're not offering anything new, no better way of life. People that were poor are
no.
still poor. People that were suffering are still suffering. You're
They're
not
just
easing anything.
they're just
It takes so
leeching
much for
off
you to
of the
just build a
galaxy
water
though.
machine for people.
They're just
It's
leeching
horrible.
off the galaxy, and then they're just muscling people into doing what they want, what they desire. Just like the guy, the
Yep.
pilgrim on the path said, we make these colors for all the things that Empire desires.
Mm-hmm.
We blend these
Mm-hmm.
colors on my planet because that's what Empire desires.
Because right, that's what Empire wanted, which is absurd.
Totally.
And like she said, y'all don't even see yourselves. You can't fathom any reality where people are not happy with you. And you go to
So
the extremes to cause pain to those people
I have a question
as
for
an
you.
example to everybody else. Go ahead.
So what do you think um Damerzel is feeling right now? Like how she's looking at him. Like you think she's ready to like reclone him? Like download a
I
different
feel like
version
she's
of
looking
him
at
and
him
like
like it's almost like, let's say
reset, start over.
you're in class and whoever like the resident mean girl is sitting next to you and you're trying your damnedest because she pissed you off at lunch not to look at her, and every time you hear her giggle, like your eye twitches because you just want to reach over and smack her in the back of the fucking head for no reason. Well, I mean, it's
Just
not for no
wants to
reason,
get
but
him.
I feel like that's what Demoiselle is feeling right now. Like she's just, boy, fucking like I'm hearing all of the mom and auntie
Yeah.
rhetoric in my brain. Like if you don't calm your ass down and listen, we are going to have a problem.
Yeah.
Actually, let me see. What would what would they say? The Yuan licks. I think that would be the assessment. He really just needs to get a couple hits
Yeah.
across his non belly button self.
Yeah. I love
You know
that
what I
result.
mean? Yeah, she I think she is in my top
She's the
three
real MVP.
characters.
She's the real MVP
Facts.
because she has to live through all this mess and then cover up.
So
I mean, just
much.
when she was rattling off the strategy to handle Halima from a censorship
Mhm.
perspective, I was like, God damn, have you done this before?
Like,
Clearly,
yo,
they
does
censor
she get
information
upgrades
that
at
goes
all?
out all the time. Like,
Like, you have 11,000 years worth of
she's
memories on your
mother,
chips.
she's mother, girlfriend, companion to those three, first of all.
Advisor,
She's
everything.
yeah, she's watching, she's basically leading their army, clearly. If she's
Yeah,
strategizing
she's
that,
basically like the head of the Kingsguard.
yeah, and political watchguard as well. Seriously?
Right, as
Like,
well as undercover personal bodyguard because she's always right
yeah.
there. And she's not there to hold a gun or fight, but if need be, and she needs to step in front of Empire and throw some fisticuffs, she will.
And her staff, like, I want to know how that works. Who does she delegate to? Like, she
Yeah,
got
because
spies.
it seems like she would be the one that
Who's
is
running
giving all the orders, making all the
this
schedules for the household
episode? And
cleaners,
I'm
the
like,
gardeners, everybody.
who's really running the show here? She's it.
And this is why I actually I have a crazy idea that just jumped into my head.
Like looking back at it,
Mm,
really like, and knowing what I know for season 2, like I'm like, damn, like this is why I had all those questions. Because
I
damn,
feel like
that
if the
girl was
right
going through
thing
it.
happens at the right time, somehow or other, she's gonna go and connect some way with either Gail or Salvo at some point in time. Like, okay, look here. So here's the information I have. I don't want to do this, but
Speaking
these
of which,
assholes are on
hold
my
up.
nerves.
One more thing before when you finish that, go.
What do we forget?
Gail and
No,
Salvor.
go ahead.
So when Gail was flashing back to all the times that she felt something or saw something, there was a moment in there where the prime radiant was going from one hand to the other in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what is that? I have to like go back and like slow that down because I'm like, what was that? Who are you giving the prime radiant to?
Mm-hmm.
So even though she left Harry, clearly she gonna be back some way, shape, or
So,
form.
oh
I'm
yeah.
like,
She is in.
okay,
She was in stasis,
yeah.
and I'm not going to say where exactly she lands on that. That will be the topic of discussion. Are we going to do it Sunday
Alright.
or wait till Thursday?
Sunday. Sunday's good.
Sunday. Okay. Sunday, we're going to hit it'll be the season finale, episode 9 and 10. And then Thursday, I feel like I might have something else going on that Thursday. I don't know. I'll let you know. But if not,
I'm going to be
next
away.
week, yeah.
I told you.
Okay.
That's why we're doing Sunday.
Yeah, I knew something was coming up. Yeah. So we'll do
Sunday and wrap up.
We'll finish out the season Sunday and then a week off, and we'll be back following Thursday for season 2, episode 1 and 2.
Yep.
Yes, and this has been a fantastic ride. I love a good space opera, and this is one of the best. You know, we finished The Expanse a few years ago, so this is giving me all of the love that I like to see in a good space story.
Yeah.
So it's excellent, and I like how they're handling the time jumps.
Yes,
they're doing very well with that. And also, I don't know if maybe I'm not calculating it correctly, but let me know how you read it. For those parts with damn it, what the hell, Gale. When Gale is on the ship, I thought that was happening at the same time, just she's in space and then everybody on Terminus, and that's what we're seeing. But it wasn't. They were not in the same time sequence, which I didn't get that until we got to the events that happened in episode 9. And I thought that was really interesting. That was a very clever way to show that, and the reveal for it is really awesome once we get more deep into the mysteries. Yeah, I'll call them. So it's pretty. This is a great show. I'm kind of glad that I waited to watch, because now I have somebody awesome to chat about it with. So yay! You got anything else going on that you're doing?
No, I started a master class for writing, so I'm doing that.
Oh, nice. Who's the teacher?
Right now it's Issa Rae.
Nice.
She's funny and engaging. Nice. So that's been great. So I'm just starting writing again and doing writing prompts to get me writing again every day. So that's been cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Getting the muscle working again, you know how that is.
That is basically the same ship. And actually,
I crack back open my
boys home.
This book right here is probably one you should get.
The Artist's Way. Text me that and the author, the name, title, and the author.
I will. It's Julia Cameron for anybody listening, but I'll text it to you, so you can get it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll put that on my list. I am currently right now in a writers group, and we've been going through giving each other 15-minute writing assignments. And one person picks whatever the topic is supposed to be, and then we all expand on it. The last one we did was make up a commercial or a sales pitch for an item. And the way we chose the item was spin around in a circle like 10, 15 times. And the first thing that you're able to focus on, you grab that, and that's what you have to make it. So I had to make one up for my Tanzu that I have, which is
looked over and saw the first thing that I'm going to focus on, and it's this little thing that my kid made in
is that
like
a fishy?
5th or 6th grade. It's a fish. Yep, ceramic. But I just have like my keys and things on it.
Hey, look.
I don't know what I would write about that. That's a crazy experiment.
Oh man. Okay, let's see. What else do we have coming up? At some point next month, which is coming up fast, we're gonna be on here talking about some vampires. I want to try to get. So I need to find some vampire teeth that I could actually speak in and be able to talk.
Are you gonna do it the week of Halloween? You want us to do it the week of Halloween?
We can do that the week of Halloween. And I got a few things lined up with a couple people, so I'm trying to figure out the schedule for it.
Schedule it
now. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So so look out for that, because we like the spooky season and we like doing things with the spooky season. Right. So I think we're gonna have some fun.
Or some things that could be on theme if you're gonna have teeth.
Well, I'm going to try. I don't know if I'll be able to find an outfit to put together. But
Yeah.
even still, I'll have like a spooky background behind me or something
Listen,
if
if
I
I
can.
can't find an outfit,
We'll see how it goes.
it's gonna be some weird makeup or something. I'll do something.
Right, see, yeah, all right. This is very easygoing, folks. This is not a big production. You know, I'm a small fry out here, so I just do little tiny things to make us all laugh.
Small fries do big things. Shut up.
I mean, okay, fine.
Do it, do you. I'm doing what I like. Let them go kick
All right,
rocks.
so thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us again. Rami, Luna, see, Mother Roan was in here earlier. Lady D, the
Everybody.
historian of the realm, was in here earlier, and I know we had some lurkers throughout. So I kept
Oh,
seeing
did
our
we?
numbers fluctuating up and down.
down.
So yeah, thank you guys for everyone that does come through and watch and doesn't necessarily want to chat in the live chat. I appreciate you guys too.
Yeah.
Do not forget to like, share, spread it around the realm. Put some comments in there if you're watching later. Let me know your thoughts on these 2 episodes. And like we said, we will be back on Sunday to finish up the season, episode 9 and 10. And in about 15 minutes or so, jump over to DJ Wun Wun's channel if you're watching this live right now. And I will be talking with him and Fandom D Saint about, what are we talking about today? Ahsoka.
All right.
Episode
R.I.P.
6.
Zephyr Halima. That's all I got.
Yes. R.I.P. to a real one right there.
Group of blessings to her.
All the blessings to her. All right. So yeah, we'll catch you guys in a couple of days. Stay safe out there. Peace.
All right. Bye.